All right, my friends, we're joining Alan for episode number 2 already of Banished Hero Lives as He Pleases, or Banished Former Hero Lives as He Pleases, following the story of Alan, the former hero of another world, who was killed by giving his all and giving his life and being recognized for doing that like a hero by the gods or goddesses and being given a second chance at life as a noble who seemingly has no power, and on their measuring scale of how they measure power is like level 1. He's like a peasant, like lower than a peasant, based on the gifts that gods give. And really, he's just immeasurable, or he's just measured on a different scale that is not of this world, essentially. But that's worked to his benefit, because in episode 2, he gets evaluated, I guess you could say, by some sketchy individuals, by one dude that very much looks like a Seamus, like a Sebastian type dude. You know the Sebastian Butler type looking fellas. He looks like that, and this like Amazonian type girl. They go and they evaluate him, and because they evaluate him, they see him as no threat because he's not on the scale. He's level 1. He has no registered whatever it is of this world, features or abilities. He has nothing registered, so they can't evaluate nothing. So, like, this dude is inconsequential, yet they end up following him throughout the whole entire episode. The rest of the episode really focuses around Alan and the princess. I don't know what her name is yet. You guys can tell me or correct me in the comments, but this episode follows him and the princess getting closer once again. We get revealed a moment of, like, kind of when they first kind of announced themselves as being betrothed. They're being fiancés kind of in the past. So, a nice little quick cool flashback at their younger selves and younger lives. It has them getting together. It has the girl who's a hero kind of splitting off from the party. It has Alan going into the Adventures Guild to turn in the dragon skills because he beat the dragon. That's how he begins getting discovered by this old dude and this younger girl. And then from there on, the next portion is them seeking out this elf who has dwarf tendencies, who she's basically just like a blacksmith. And he broke his sword, so they go and they forge him a new sword. They meet this girl. The episode ends with, I guess, this girl's mentor, this girl's dwarf mentor, who is a hottie McTottie. I guess she got eaten or destroyed or killed by this Fenrir that was shown at the end of the episode. And because at the end of the episode it was shown that it was a Fenrir, for some reason I don't really. This seems like a god type being. It doesn't seem like something that would come and just slaughter willy nilly. So because of that, I have my suspicion that Alan will take the Fenrir, or like he's not going to kill this animal. I have a feeling there's more story than her version of the story. And this old dude, the Sebastian type looking dude, like I was saying, in the episode, he's like, follow Alan. There's something off about him because we don't want him finding that thing. We don't want him finding that thing. And it's like, well, what thing? It's like, okay, maybe it's the Fenrir. Maybe they could control it or manipulate it or something. So more story to come. But hey, as in episode 2, this was decent. And let me say this. When I say this anime is decent, I mean it in the deepest part of my souls. Multiple souls. I'm enjoying this show and I like it. But it's tropeistic. It follows the OP guy, but he's not really OP. You know what I mean? Like, he's OP, but he's like those things of like, the strongest mage hides who he is to go to the academy. It's like that type of nonsense. So I understand if you don't like those types of MCs. And I understand if you don't like, the girls are going to flock to him type deal, because, like, there's a lot of girls that are going to flock to him type deal. And I understand if it's too cheesy, or it's too by the numbers, or, like, I understand all those reasons. And critically, I can be like, okay, yeah, it's a little bit boring at times. It's a little predictable. We can kind of see where it's going. We can see all these things, but for some reason, at least so far, I'm enjoying it. But again, on the opposite side of the table, I understand if you're not. And for those, I just say, hey, if you didn't like episode 1, I doubt you like episode 2. And if that's the case, drop it. Don't watch it. There's so many other amazing anime to watch right now. RE Monster we just covered. Reincarnated Aristocrat we just covered. My Hero's coming back. Mushoku Tensei's coming back. Tons and tons and tons of really great anime. So if this was not for you, drop it. Drop it like it's hot. Get your inner Snoop Dogg and just let it go. And I totally get why. Last thing I'll say, the ED has no right to be as good as it is. The ED is probably the best ED of the season so far. Like this ED, I was just like, like it's a bop. It's so good. The ED is awesome, and I really loved it for that. So overall, Banished Hero, having a good time. I put it probably around like a 6.5, maybe 7 out of 10 on its best day. But enjoyability factor, I'm like an 8 so far from enjoyability. Like I'm enjoying it so far. But it could be one of those shows that like rubs me the wrong way or does something so stupid that it makes me want to drop it. It's that kind of show that I'm enjoying it, but it could teeter really fast to not liking it. But so far, so good. So, and lots of waifu, so I appreciate that. And so far, they're done pretty well. So we'll see. All right, friends. I'll see you guys next week or whenever the next episode ends up dropping. Peace.